Scrappy peeps, Suzanna here today for Thermoweb, and I have a tutorial to show you how you can use your flock transfer sheets and cut them using your silhouette. Mine happens to be a cameo. It has taken me a little bit of a while to figure this out. It's been a long, tedious process, but what you're going to do is you're going to shrink your file to the size that you want. And so this is the lion. I want just the mane, so I am going to ungroup them. So you have to highlight the whole thing and then hit ungroup. And I want to put just the mane on my cutting mat. And then the settings for this, you're going to go up to cut and you're going to click settings. And I just click cork because it makes it easy. And then you want to make sure that your blade depth is at 5, that your speed is at 4, and that your thickness is at 12. So those are the specific settings, and then you are going to go ahead and hit cut, and you'll see that my machine isn't linked, but I do link it, and then I'm able to cut it. You have to prepare your mat. So you're going to put a piece of printer paper down first, then you're going to put your flock color side down on top of that printer paper, layer it up with purple tape to hold that on. You see I'm going to put all 4 sides, insert that into your machine, and then hit cut. And you will see that you will get a nice clean cut with minimal amounts of flock stripped from the side of the cut. This was the best setting that I could come up with, and this is the best advice that I can give you if you want to use flock on your scrapbook pages. You know, it's really easy to run metal dies through with the flock, but if you don't have a metal die for something you want, like I don't normally use monkeys or lions, this was the best way to do that. You can also use flock to back your digital cut files like I'm doing here. So I'm going to use that lovely sunshine yellow behind Circus. So just like you would do for paper, you will measure out the size that you need. You will use your Ultrabond with a metal tip and get between all of those little layers and into those nooks and crannies with that adhesive. And that's what the metal tip is great for. You will make sure you put your pin in that metal tip really quickly so it doesn't clog, and then just the flock quickly adheres to that and holds. You can see I'm now going to use the black to do that bottom scallop border there, and that will be all of the flock that I am going to use in the title there. I'm then going to back the rest of that digital cut file with papers from that Pebbles Bigtop Dreams collection that you see to the right there. I am going to use, and you will see that coming up, some of the 1/2-inch easy tear tape to adhere the huge piece of paper down that will just keep a clean back on the back of the layout there. So I've chosen papers, and just like I did with the flock, I'm just going to measure out the approximate sizes. Again, I'm going to use that Ultrabond liquid adhesive to adhere that down, which truly is perfect for getting into all of those little nooks and crannies. It has made a huge difference with the use of Ultrabond for me, having that metal tip on there. They're super cheap. I definitely recommend that you invest in those, and I also definitely recommend that you find, this is just it's a pin from one of my husband's dress shirts. When you buy dress shirts, they often come with the collars pinned down and pinned together. And so this is literally one of those pins that I've saved to unclog the metal tips. And I actually use it as the stopper in that metal tip. So you can see I skipped through the paper piecing of that, but now I want to adhere this red to the back, which is also going to be the backing for a few of the words, as well as the circus tent top. So I'm just going to put it literally easy tear, no joke. You see how easy that tear is? So I'm going to put that down on each of those horizontals at the top of the circus tent there, and then I am going to go in with the Ultrabond to the little nooks and crannies between the words. It is just 1 tent away, so that, because that's where the red is also going to show through other than the tent. So I'm going to peel off the backing of that paper tape and now I'm going to go in once I've done that with the Ultrabond, because the Ultrabond dries really quickly. So I want to make sure that as soon as that Ultrabond is down, everything is ready to go and I can adhere everything down. So I'm pulling off all of those strips, cutting that paper so I know exactly when, as soon as that Ultrabond is down, that I am ready to go. And I can adhere that red strip. So you can see I'm just filling in the nooks and crannies with this Ultrabond. It goes super quickly. It probably takes me more time to put the pen in the metal tip than that. And then down we go with that red. It secures nicely all the way around with that easy tear tape and the Ultrabond. So that is, you can see the flock pieces that I've cut. So the same process that I did for the lion's mane, I did for the monkeys. The mane is just flock that's backed onto a paper backing. For the lion, the monkeys are pure flock, and they have a really nice brown texture to them. So the rest of this layout is less technique and very much process video. So you've got about six more minutes of process where I just use those Thermoweb goodies to create this layout. This is all I have from this collection from Pebbles Bigtop Dreams, and so I am going to fussy cut some elements to supplement with the flock pieces in order to create this layout. This is a themed, it could have been a circus or animal layout. My kids are older and it's been a while since we've been to the circus, and I'm really trying to make an effort of preserving current stories, things that have happened recently. And so I really don't want to go back and dig out old pictures of the circus. We have been to Cirque du Soleil, but that's not quite circus. And so I went with this digital cut file. Our family is just one tent away from a full-blown circus. I had toyed with the idea of not my monkey, not my circus, but I really liked this because there are days where, yeah, I really truly feel like I do live in a three-ring circus. Life is funny, life is fun, but we are all over the place between the two ages of these two different kids with two different focuses in their lives. Michael works, I work, Michael travels. So yeah, it's comical sometimes. And so I thought that this was a perfect saying for kind of this phase and stage in our life. Again, I don't have any of the ephemera, so I'm going to cut out, these are actually from the 3x4 cards in the collection, and I'm just going to make them work. I loved how that clown worked with the monkeys and the lion like you would find at a circus. And in one of the 3x4 cards, the monkey is actually juggling balls. And so what I did was I put sequins along, you'll see later on in the video, I'm going to imitate that picture, and I'm going to put some sequins there for the balls that the monkeys are going to be juggling. What I did there was I had some circles that I just cut, and they created a nice scallop border. There's blue behind the words "our family." I'm now going to put blue sequins in the top. In the cutout on this digital cut file, there are circles that are there, and so I thought the sequins in blue was a perfect way of incorporating a little bit more blue into the layout, but I also felt that I needed still just a tad more blue. It felt like this random color, and so I thought that the scalloped border above the photo was a great way of tying in more blue and also tying in that scallop, that really dark scallop at the bottom where I have the flock pulled in a little bit more of darkness to the top of the layout there. So this is a tip that I use with sequins. What I do is I lay the sequins down, and then I actually put a blob of glue where I want the sequins to be. I pick up the sequins through the hole in the sequins and then plop it back down on the glue. So an easy way of getting sequins down on your projects. And again, that metal tip, it makes a world of difference there. My Gina K Runner is the other go-to adhesive that I use when I'm not using my Ultrabond. Sometimes when you are using the Ultrabond, It's a permanent adhesive, and it is very tough to pull. In fact, it's almost impossible to pull anything back up that you have put down with that liquid adhesive. So while the Gina K is a permanent adhesive, I do use it as a temporary adhesive. I just put it very lightly and I don't push things down, and I'm able to get it back up without leaving too much adhesive residue down there. So that is going to be the bulk of the layout. What I'm going to do now, oops, other than throw sequins all over my page, is now what I referred to earlier, where I'm going to put the little balls that the monkey is juggling. I'm going to pull out the red. And initially I thought I was just going to use the red, but then I see the green that is in that clown's hat, the band on the clown's hat, and I think, I need to incorporate a little bit more green into this layout because that is literally the only green that is in there. So I am going to go with the colors actually that the clown is using, not the clown, sorry, the monkey is using in the 3x4 card. And so he has red, yellow, green, and blue, and so I'm going to put red, yellow, green, and blue. And again, you can see that trick that I use with the metal tip there. So if you go to the blog, I have the specific settings for the silhouette cameo that you want to use in case you didn't catch that. It's taken me a lot of trial and error to get to this, but I am very pleased with the way that the cut turns out. You can see it's not perfect, but it's mostly clean. And for this type A anal retentive gal, it's perfect. So if it works for me, it's got to be pretty good. If you have any questions about how to use Thermoweb products on your memory keeping, please don't hesitate to ask. I'd be happy to try and figure that out for you, just as I tried to figure out this flock. You've got some close-ups coming. Enjoy the close-ups, and thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Take care.